Hodge, I might start. You're in an umpiring shirt. You'll actually be going out to Morningside on the weekend to umpire. What do you think of the Lions initiative?
Yeah, I think we've just got to show support behind the umpires. I know I've got an 8-year-old who plays a 10-year-old who plays at Morningside, and you go down there and these guys here are 15 and 16 and been umpiring between 2 and 5 years. So you just want to show as many of the kids out there that it's appealing. I did it as a kid growing up. I was a boundary umpire. I wasn't as official as these guys, but yeah, I think it's great that the Lions and all the boys are going to get behind the umpires this weekend.
It's good for players as well to, I guess, get a better understanding of the game. Does it give them a better understanding of the game?
I think it should. I know definitely since going to watch my sons play, just even the crowd, just hopefully the parents have an understanding of how old the kids are that are umpiring. Then they're only been doing it for, some of them are 1 and 2 years at the age of 12 or 13. So we've just got to make sure that they've got support behind them and go and encourage them just as much as they encourage their kids.
You can't have a game without them, can you?
Yeah, exactly right. And as I said, it's they give up their Saturdays and Sundays to go and take part in a game that everyone here loves. So just talking to the guys before how they've been doing it for between 2 and 5 years. They've loved it. They've been around football their whole life. So yeah, without umpires, we've got no games.
When it gets to your level and you've been away from the junior scene for a while, does it give you more of an appreciation to go back and see what they do and can go through, do you think?
Yeah, you do, because I think sometimes you get caught up in the game, and I know as a kid growing up that you get caught up in the game and you lose your frustration, but you've got to take a step back and understand that they're doing their job, we're doing our job, and we make a lot more mistakes than what the umpires do. So I think everyone's got to understand what they're going through. They've got 36 blokes running around trying to do the best for their team, and they're trying to officiate that. So I think that's what this weekend's about. It's about getting out there, showing support behind the umpires, and making sure that all the parents out there are doing the exact same thing.
You've got a game to win before that, though.
Yeah, correct. It's a big one Saturday night. North, their last 7 weeks, I think they've won five of them. So they've coming in with some good form, which we know they've obviously changed their style since Shorey's gone on board. But we've looked at them pretty closely and should be a good contest.
How excited are you about the next 6 weeks for what it might hold for this club?
I think one thing Fags has been pretty good at is that don't look too far forward. And I've known Fags for a long time, and he's always preached that to the guys he's been around. And I think this group's been really good. That whatever the external noise is, they're focused on what's coming up this weekend and dealt with that. And I think that's why they've been able to play such consistent football. Every week we look at our opponent, we try and break down how we reckon we can beat them, and we go out there and try and do our job.
You came here obviously thinking you could help accelerate the progress. Has this exceeded what you thought, or is it about in line with what you thought?
I think a journey of development's about up and downs throughout your journey. And at the start when I got here, I was impressed at how mature the young guys were, and I think that's just continued. If you look at the blokes that I've been lucky enough to play against, I play with down back with Harris, Darcy Gardner, who are really taking control of the back line with Richie. And then you've got your Alex Witherden's and Noah Ainsworth who are coming along as well. So no doubt I've forgotten a few who will be filthy at me. But look, I've been lucky that I've been able to be a part of this journey with the guys. And as I said, it's only the beginning of what this group could accomplish in the future.
It's amazing to think that you took yourself, Hugh and Eric out of the team on the weekend, but the structure wasn't changed and the boys still played good footy. Does that mean you guys have now finally got that depth?
I think to get to a good side, and we're still, as I said, on our way, you need blokes to come in and play their role and do what they have to for the team. And we had guys come in last week, play their role, and we've done that the whole year. Whether we've had 1 or 2 changes or 4 or 5 changes, the blokes that know their role, they've come in and been able to perform it. And I think that's a sign of good teams, that no matter, you almost put your egos aside and go out and do what you have to for the team to get a win.
Do you feel like this is your last year, or?
I don't know. Swanee sacked me 6 weeks ago, so when we came up here, sorry, when we came up here, it was about the how I can help the development of the guys. And as I said before, we've got some really good leaders in the back end where I play. So no doubt, as you saw last week, I wasn't there, and those guys stood up and they communicated, they talked, they set up really well behind the ball. So yeah, all my job is up here is to help continue their development and see what I can do for them.
Could that be on field next year? Pardon? Could that be on field next year?
I don't know. As I said, it's we haven't really come to a discussion. But the way that was always a 2-year deal, and it hasn't spoken any further on that.
You don't want to leave right now, though. The team's on the
Look at the weather. I'm not going anywhere.
I don't think, as a player, just to go, you don't want to leave, miss the chance for more on-field success.
I'll be in Brisbane next year without a shadow of a doubt. In what form we'll sit down and discuss that. But we're absolutely loving it up here. As I said, for a winter day to be 20 odd, and we're not going anywhere. But I'll still be a part of the Lions next year. Just in what way, who knows?
You just had
Vote for a future career change next year.
Well, I've been goal umpire a few times this year. I've been umpire escort a few times and runner a couple of times. So who knows? It could be a chance.
You just had a week off. How's your body in general, sort of this deep into a season?
Surprisingly, it's been all right. Copped a couple of hits against GWS, which woke up the next day and I was no problems. We were still able to train the week, but we spoke to Fags probably about a month prior to that, just sort of saying the best time just to look after the body. So I was right to play, but yeah, I guess the season, it's a long season. You want to make sure that you're fresh every game you play, and yeah, we made the decision and stuck to it, which was a good one the way the boys played last week.
But some commentators say that Harris is the best defender in the competition now. But do you sort of think he's...
I hate pumping him up. He's got a big head anyway. So no, Harris is one of the most low-key, placid, mature 22-year-olds that I've played with. It's not only what he does on the field; it's what he does off the field to try and get himself better with his teammates. So. Look, he hasn't put a foot wrong this year, and how his development has gone the last 3 years has been unreal, and what he can get to, who knows. But I'll tell you what, when you turn around and see the big fella beside you, it definitely makes you play with a bit more confidence.
Did you catch the Adam Goods documentary last night?
I didn't see it last night. We had a chance to see. It was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And look, what hit me the most was a bloke who was so passionate with football, such a lively spirit. And I knew Goodsy was about the same manager. And then to fast forward to when he retired, and to sort of see the broken man he was, and how much that took out of him, and he just wasn't the same person. And I think at the time people made comments where they probably sit back now and reflect and say comments that they made were the wrong ones. But I think what has put a light on it is that people have to be cautious of how people are feeling and understand their point of view. And even speaking to a few people now, Goodsy's still not the same guy. He's starting to get a bit of bubble back in him. But what shocked me was just how much that he sort of deteriorated over 3 or 4 years of that constant booing and what he received while he was out just playing a game that he loved.
How far have we got to go with regards to equality and diversity in the AFL?
Oh, look, I think it shows that we're always we want to get to 100% and no racism in Australia or sexism or anything like that. But I think in everyday life we're going to continue to improve, and there's going to be slip-ups. Unfortunately, that's just human error, and people make mistakes or make silly errors with what they say. But I think as long as people are aware of it, stand up for people, and talk about it's the most important thing, we'll be getting better for it.
Thanks.
Hodge, sorry, just one more. Just a little bit of chat that Gold Coast are keen on Sean Burgoyne next year in a role similar to what you've played. But going through, how much do you think that can and does help a younger team having?
Sean is a ripper club man. He's a no fuss kind of guy, a ripper on the footy field. I think everyone knows how he can play. But any time he can spend any time around younger guys, just teaching him what he's learned over what's he played 20 years now or 19 years now. It can't hurt any kids to spend a bit of time with Sean. So if I was in a situation like that, I'd say go for it. But I'm looking from afar. They're going to make decisions on club, their internal position and what they can and can't do. But as far as supporting Sean and saying what can he do, he could help any kid that he spends some time with.